Celebrating 100 years of the BBC, this is the Flashing Blade Live.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there, welcome to the Flashing Blade Live. I'm Siobhan Galichon. Do. And gentlemen, introduce yourself, please.
I'm Brian. Yes, I'm American. Get over it.
I'm Andrew. I'm not American. I have no strong feelings about this either way.
Well, that's our show for this evening. Thank you for tuning in. So I thought we'd try a serious opening because 100 years of the BBC, and that just no.
It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
I could have done the old one.
Oh, please, blast from the past, please.
Hey, you guys and gals and non-binary pals, you're watching the Flashing Blade Live, episode 139. Tonight we're reviewing the new Doctor Who adventure, The Power of the Doctor.
Actually, we're not. We're reviewing the Doctor Who story, Doctor Who and the Power of the Doctor Who. That's its title.
All I know is
that's the canon title.
It's
from
Jody.
now on. I know. So, yes, I need to put this up because I forgot to do it. All right, here we go. Everybody join in. Spoilers!
Spoilers.
There are spoilers.
Spoilers coming up.
We got lots of spoilers.
More spoilers.
There are spoilers.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
There are
spoilers all over the place for this. If you don't want to hear them, run away now.
Spoilers are coming. Spoilers.
You see, I said join in. I didn't actually point out when we'd stop saying that. Can you see where I went wrong? Can you?
That would be when you decided to do the Flashing Blade Live podcast.
Yeah, that's what you invite us on.
Yes, Andrew, quite. Do you want to try that again?
Yeah.
Go on then.
No.
All right. Fair enough. We're going well tonight. We have no Spanky tonight, unfortunately. He didn't get to watch Doctor Who, so he'd rather avoid us because we smell. No, he's avoiding the spoilers, basically. And I can't say I blame him. We will move on to Doctor Who very, very shortly, but there's a few things we want to talk about. Let's do the usual. Brian, apart from being American, which we really must have another little chat about that. How's your week been?
Fairly busy.
Good busy? Bad busy? Okay.
Yeah.
No. That's an acceptable response, especially nowadays. Good evening, Christian. Lovely to see you in chat, my love. Oh dear, I hope the missus is fine, and the kids, and the cats, and anyway. And Dr. Sinister is just over there. Hello.
Hello.
How has your week been?
I've had a very busy week. I was 4 days in Halifax in West Yorkshire,
Hey.
and I did the same presentation 32 times over 3 days.
Holy cow.
Why?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Why?
We were doing these things called market stalls to show off the system that we've been configuring, and we had different groups coming to us during the day, and I was one of 6 market stalls. All the other market stalls had more than one person manning them and had a rota. Mine, I'm not complaining, was just me.
Could you record it and just play it for them?
No, the whole point was that I was there.
Put it on a loop.
No, there would have been no point going. I quite enjoyed it.
I didn't mean you took
Okay,
some
well,
nice
as long as
photographs.
you enjoyed it.
You did take nice pickies. Let's be honest. News. First thing we have to do, serious news. Guys, thoughts and prayers, please. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. Professor Dave, who's not really a professor, however, this evening I am hereby making him a professor of Doctor Who a professor of stuff for the Flashing Blade podcast, so he's now a legitimate professor. Professor Dave is not very well in hospital. If you may have heard of him from Professor Dave's Ark in Space with Lilibet the Wonder Girl. He's undergoing surgery, and please just keep him in your thoughts, if you wouldn't mind. He's an old podcasting buddy, and I'm worried. So there we go.
He has a very mellifluous voice.
He makes us listen to... Wait. This is the same Professor Dave that makes us listen to Eurovision every year?
Yes, that's the Professor Dave, yes. Mm-hmm.
As he's a friend of yours, well,
yes.
Slide.
Good. That's lovely. All right, my week's been interesting. Brian, your skepticism last Sunday was both correct but strangely wrong. Will you not fall asleep on my keyboard?
I'm sorry.
But the keyboard is comfy, and I need a place to sleep.
Look, there's plenty of room. Yes, that's my hand.
Oh, it's the darkness.
Yeah. Do you believe in a thing called love? Or something. Anyway, they turned up to do the garden when they said they were going to turn up. And they did the garden, Brian.
This is good.
So you can now go out in it just in time for... Uh-oh.
No, because this is Guinness, all right? Now, I don't have a complaint about the council at all. Indeed, they got hold of me this week, and the platform's going to be built pretty damn pronto. However, because it's Guinness, they left the rubbish exactly where they need to build the platform.
Yay.
Yeah. Over here, we just call it building a deck.
However,
but think maybe next year you could get a little grill and put something on it.
That involves effort and money, you know. But it does mean I'm going to be able to sit outside there with a nice cup of hot chocolate and just relax. Admittedly, I don't have the greenery I once had, which was one of the reasons I wanted to be able to use my garden. But no, it's all down to the council now. So with luck, things should run smoothly. Touch wood. Sorry, is that your very special friend, the microphone cover? Is it?
Obviously, the cat wants in on the podcast. So
the cat's obviously got some views on this week's Doctor Who.
He's going to have to wait a moment, though, because we
stay
have
tuned for
to
kitty views on Doctor Who. Or should it be Dr. Mew?
Cat that walks by himself in all times and places are as one. Right. So there's that. Something nice is happening to my flat this week, which I'm not going to go into here, but it's good stuff. Bad news.
You're being demolished.
Yeah. Bad news. I may have to get a new TV.
Oh.
Aww.
I moved it today, or no, 2 or 3 days back. And will you just stop it? He's done a thing and he's put lines on things and... Go on, bugger off. Stop laughing. It's not funny. Yeah, and I heard something crack when I moved it. Now, I thought it might have been the stand it's on. But now, I've essentially got Amy's crack, just a bigger version of it, a wider version of it. A sort of a paleness on one area of the TV. I think it's fucked. So I'm now looking into how to get a 4K television. May as well go 4K. I was going to have to at some stage, wasn't I?
Might as well go 8K.
Oh no, that's silly money.
I don't have a 4K TV.
Well, neither do I.
I
Adam's
don't
got
either.
one. Adam's
I've got my TV is a 3D TV.
So's mine.
I don't even have that.
However, when they mixed up, when my actual TV was in for repairs and they mixed up and they gave me this one instead, yeah, it's a lot bigger. But the 3D on it has got the wrong glasses now because it's a different television, so I can't use it, which is a shame because I loved watching Dredd in 3D.
Oh, Dredd in 3D is possibly the best implementation of 3D in a movie ever.
Yeah, totally.
I actually have to disagree with that because I saw The Hobbit in 3D, and this was IMAX, so I was in there watching it, and it looked like I was looking through a window.
Wow.
Fair enough. See, the only problem I've got with 3D is the fact I wear glasses. It's, it's a pain in the arse in that respect. It's the same with VR equipment. I used to have a Rift. I got rid of it in the end because the glasses were just being pushed very slowly into my face.
Oh, you can get prescription lenses for those things.
Yeah, but again, money. You see,
I don't use prescription lenses in my 3D in my VR stuff.
Well, I tried not to, but everything was blurred as fuck, so I thought it might be an idea. So, news. Well, Doctor Who was on tonight. Had we mentioned that? Yes.
In the news.
Yes. Hang on. Before you start,
I'm not going to make that joke.
I made this announcement yesterday, probably in the wrong Discord channel. But this evening, the official government spokesman is Dr. Sinister. You're probably wondering why, because normally I will quite happily sound off left, right, and centre. The reason is my floor is still on my jaw. No, my jaw is still on the floor. And I'm just shaking my head in utter disbelief and can't believe what's happening. So hopefully Andrew can make more sense out of it for you, because...
Well, the situation is quite simple. Having
should be good.
Secured
Yes.
The non-confidence of many hundreds of his ministers.
Yes.
The former Prime Minister Boris Johnson was forced to leave the office.
Yes.
And then we had a 7-week competition, basically,
in which nothing actual governmental got done.
No government happened at all,
Ukraine,
and everybody,
energy crisis, nothing.
Everything was just falling apart. And in that 7 weeks, they then elected possibly the least experienced person on the fucking planet to take over the role, who she immediately went about...
Who refused it, and so they went to the next one down.
She immediately started her duties by killing the Queen.
Yes.
And then basically there was a 10-day period of mourning, and after 35 days of active government, she's now been forced to resign, and the previous Prime Minister might be coming back because everyone's forgotten what a fucking useless twat he was.
Was this written by Chibnall?
Well,
Nostradamus, I think.
The reappearance of a previous incarnation of the Prime Minister is somehow reflective in today's Doctor Who episode.
Well, that's the problem I've got with Doctor Who nowadays. The Doctor's chosen by a tiny minority of right-wing old age people.
Yeah. So.
The Council of Gallifrey, you say?
Sorry, the Conservatives.
Basically, the situation is one of complete and utter fuckedness.
Yes.
And the UK's reputation for having a stable government, which has been over many centuries, has been pissed away in an experiment which was doomed to failure from the very start.
Yep. So basically,
Boris has been
as the tofu eating
Hang on, in the
wokerati
chat.
liberal.
In the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, breaking news, everybody!
Yes.
Thank
Boris
you.
Johnson will not
And
run
the
in the
entire
Tory
nation
race.
breathes a sigh of relief.
Christian in chat, thank you. Help yourself to a medal. There's a bucket of them in the corner. I've been waiting all day for this news. You've just confirmed it to me. Thank you so much. I am slightly less pissed off than I was 2 minutes ago.
However, he will change his mind in about, I don't know, just in time for the ballot tomorrow. Boris Johnson, the cunt. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that word. Yes, so we can only apologise to the rest of the world. We're so sorry. I think it's fair to say neither of us voted for them. Brian did a postal vote, but it didn't count. I'm sorry, love.
I'm just hoping.
Voter fraud.
Whatever you think about the ruling party, right? If they could find someone to unify behind and fucking try and actually govern, we might be in a better position than just the infighting. That's all I'm praying for.
How much longer do you have for these
2 years.
midgets to
2
be in
years.
charge?
2 years.
We desperately need a general election now. There's no two ways about it. But the thing is, they won't call a general election because they're about 36 points behind in the polls.
Utterly annihilated.
They may not even have enough seats to form the official opposition. They may become a third party.
It would be the biggest swing in electoral history, given Boris's massive majority last time. They would be wiped out.
And I've got to admit, I might stay up to watch the election results that night. Anyway, yes, no, we didn't have Trump. You're quite right. We had Boris, and he's like Trump light, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's okay. We might have Trump again.
Well, this was my fear, is that if Johnson came back, that might set a precedent, and we might get Trump again, and it would be Village from the Damned Part 2.
Well, the thing is,
That was a bad movie.
he's got so much legal shit going on there, there's a chance he wouldn't be able to stand by then.
Actually, he would probably stand to run for election simply because they can't charge him with a crime when he's running off.
Article 14 of the Gallifrey Constitution.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm talking about the Deadly Assassin.
I wish you guys would just get on with it and fucking convict him of something. You're running it right to the wire.
Yeah.
I mean, there's story arcs, Brian, and there's story arcs.
Look,
Yeah?
I'm not going to say these writers are hacks, but I think they're just phoning it in on the
Can we just maybe cancel the mid-season breaks and just get on with the story?
And when our episode quota got reduced from 22 to 10, I'm telling you, things just went off the wall.
14.
Dear. Right. Okay. Something a bit more cheerful. The British Broadcasting Corporation. This week celebrated 100 years of existence, which is quite good. That's older than my dad. And I, with respect to you, Brian, maybe not so much, but I'm sure there's something which would spark in your head. But I'd like to turn to Andrew and say, the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC, what does it mean to you? What has it meant to you over the years?
It's been an absolute pillar of my entire existence. I would put it alongside the NHS as being one of the truly great British achievements of the 20th century. It was set up to, was it educate, inform, and what's the other one? Can't remember now.
Entertain.
That's the one. It does all of those things. I can't imagine life without the BBC. For those who aren't aware, it's non-commercial. It's paid for basically by a form of tax, essentially. But we don't have commercials. There's a very funny story from several years ago where Top Gear trashed, I think it was, I can't remember if it was an Italian or a Japanese car. They utterly trashed it on the show. And the news got back to the CEO of the company. He says, pull advertising. They don't have any advertising. That's the fucking point. You can watch a program without any fear of being interrupted. The point is, every single government complains about the BBC.
Yes.
And if it's a Labour government, they complain. If it's a Conservative government, they complain. At the moment, people are saying there used to be a political commentator called Laura Koonsberg, and everybody said she was far too right-wing. I'm sorry. Have you watched things like Have I Got News for You lately? I mean, they just utterly rip the shit out of any government that's in power.
Yeah, but they've got rid of two shows that did that, the MASH Report and Mock the Week.
Yeah, MASH Report's gone to Dave. Mock the Week probably go the same way.
I'm thinking.
I'm of the view that if you're upsetting everybody, you're probably getting the balance just about right. Not to mention the thousands, millions upon millions of hours of TV shows, entertainment. I mean, obviously, it's the home of Doctor Who. It's the home of many, many, many children's TV shows from I can remember. So this is an organisation that's been going since way before I was born. Not just, obviously, it started out as a radio thing, then it went to TV. It's just ingrained in our life. And it really upsets me when people slag it off, because what they're doing is they're adhering to the Murdoch agenda, which is, I don't like the BBC because it's basically competition that I have to try and beat. So therefore I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to make it look bad.
I was going to say stuff, but I'm not sure I need to now.
All I would say is, if you are British and you are against the BBC, I know it's not perfect, but fuck me, you need to fucking look at your life, because if it wasn't there, this country would be a damn sight worse without it.
I'd also like to point out to the people at the BBC that the BBC should become a subscription-only service like HBO. First of all, as Russell T Davies said, have a look at the listings for HBO. You get a few new programmes a week, the rest are repeats. With the BBC, you get lots of new stuff every day, a lot of it live. It goes around the regions of Britain, so there's regional offices everywhere. It doesn't just have BBC One, it has BBC Two, BBC Three and BBC Four. Then there is the radio network, radios 1 to 5, catering for different tastes. And then all the local radio stories.
As well.
I'm sorry?
There's a Radio 6 as well.
6 Music's still going?
6 Extra, I think it is.
Okay. It also, like I say, local radio coming in from all around the country. Then there's the BBC World Service, which is heavily relied on by people for just hearing the news, clear news, and being kept up to date. You don't get that
war, in the war, the French resistance were listening to BBC radio broadcasts. As I said, I have to say, I don't like falling out with people, but people who say they want to get rid of the BBC, I'm sorry, I've got no fucking time for you.
I was going to say something.
World Service you were on.
World Service. It's gone.
Sorry.
It's all right. Don't worry.
I'm just sitting here letting you guys go on about it.
I was brought up by the BBC.
Me too.
I should have a Jersey accent. And occasionally, when I'm very tired and I'm very stressed, it might start coming out, eh? But I don't. That's because I grew up watching the BBC. Andrew and I are fortunate. We were at the golden age of BBC television, quite frankly, the 70s. The 60s is pretty damn good, as we're discovering. I've said this elsewhere, and I'll say it now. It's a question I'm going to ask both of you. It may not affect Brian so much, but what would you be like if, let's not say the BBC, but if Doctor Who had never existed?
Bored. More.
Mm-hmm. Andrew?
I have a very cliched childhood. I was the geeky kid. I had buck teeth and sticky out ears, and I was very tall and thin. I didn't like sports. And if you didn't like sports when you were at school, then you were a fucking you're excluded from everything. I don't understand this whole mentality of if you're good at sports, you're popular, because you get into real life, and I'm sorry, that's not what it's all about. Not that I'm bitter. Anyway, so I found I was, believe it or not, I was bullied at school, and I found Doctor Who was a way of escaping normal life, and I could retreat into the books as it was at the time, because they didn't have many repeats. We didn't have videos back then. We had no DVDs. I could retreat into the books, and I could just live in my own little world, and I could live in my own little head. And I'll be honest with you, it's formed a lot of the person that I am today.
I have no idea where I'd be now without Doctor Who. It's consumed my life. My social life is all Doctor Who. My interests are mostly Doctor Who related. It's people call us sad. We're not sad. We're bloody happy.
We were ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
To be honest, Doctor Who isn't that big over here as it is over there.
No, that's fair.
For me, it was just a show to watch every Sunday on BS public broadcast. For from 2 to 4 or something, and honestly, a lot more. What you're referring to, Doctor Who, did for you, comic books did for me.
I can understand that as well.
So,
yeah. But the BBC, it's... Jesus Christ, what would we be like without it? I mean, Britain.
It's one of
Culturally,
the things
there'd be a huge gap.
it defines us as a nation.
I think you could be right there. I feel that, and like you say, the NHS, they define us.
And as I say, I'm not saying it's perfect. Nothing's perfect.
No.
It's far from perfect, in fact, but I love it.
Who knew? So there we go. That was about the BBC.
I should write a poem about the BBC.
Ah, yes. Well, we're about to come to that. As usual, the world's bestest poet is with us. And again, he has graciously agreed to read one of his things he's written.
one of his newest sonnets.
Oh, I like that. Yes. Maestro, please.
This is a short one.
Okay.
It's just called Politics. The tactics of modern politics can often seem a little intense, when the originality of the personality often displaces common sense. When pithy quotes can win more votes despite there being no direction, fools who blunder make you wonder how the hell they won the election. If a party less than hearty is the flavour of the hour, then it's time to just watch the pantomime and hope they don't stay too long in power.
Speaking truth to the world. That's all I'm saying. Christian, bullied all the time Doctor Who is MySpace safe as now genderqueer drag performer, the programme that gave me hope. Not sure where I would be, to be honest. I think a lot of people would stop and wonder, quite frankly. I really would. Right then. So, moving on. You've been waiting for it, so here we go. And now, from the BBC, or its worlds, anyway, it's Doctor Who. Where do you want me to start?
Let's start at the beginning.
It's a very good place to start. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin
A, B,
with
C.
Do, Re, Mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, Re, Mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Oh, you're probably not ready for that yet. Okay, so anyway, look, my nan had the LP when I was young, so I heard it a lot.
That's
All right,
fine. It's just that I am banned by the UN from singing.
I'm sorry, I never claimed that was singing. I never claimed that was singing.
I'm just saying the last time I attempted, we had the incident.
Yeah, I know. Let's not talk about that. We all signed the forms.
Can't talk about it
No. Moving
by
on.
law.
So, right. Tonight we're looking at the power of the Doctor. Or Doctor Who and the power of the Doctor Who. Take your pick.
The changing face of Doctor Who. The
Yes.
cover of this book depicts the Doctor in her 13th incarnation, having been forced to regenerate later by the Master.
I still like the one at the beginning of City of Death. The changing face of Doctor Who. The cover illustration portrays the fourth Doctor who later changed when he lost a fight with gravity. I just love that. I'm sorry. Anyway. Yeah, they have to get rid of Dan quickly for some bizarre reason. So
It was overloaded.
It was a little bit.
Too many companions is the problem.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, this was a smorgasbord of just here. This is everyone we could get who wasn't on convention.
It's not just a regeneration story. It's a story that was commissioned by the BBC to celebrate 100 years. It had that as a focus point. Hence, getting there's a lot that got brought back. We'll get to that.
I like the end. The end was good.
These teeth feel familiar. Anyway.
Not the regen, I mean the other end.
Okay. So, well, the moment was prepared. Sorry.
The support group.
Yes, we'll come to that. We will come to that. This sequence does set up what the Cybermen are up to. So it does fit in with the plot in general, but it really was a very quick, let's write Dan out. It was Tegan all over again. It stopped being fun, Doctor. Brian, what are you trying to do?
I have an issue with the title of the Cybermen.
Cybermasters, yep.
Yeah, wouldn't Cyberlords be better because they were
That's what I always prefer, Cyberlords.
I mean, it flows so much better.
Okay.
Christian Cybermaster, Cyberlord.
I agree. Dan leaving it has a reason and foreshadowing, from my opinion. Okay, hopefully Christian will explain himself by doing more, or themselves, by doing more typing. Right. Various story threads. Okay, you've got Russia, 1916, just before the revolution. Tsar Alexander, and not Tom Baker as Rara Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine, you know. He's doing something there, and he's hypnotized the Tsar and the Tsarina. He's up to something, that pesky master. In the meantime, in 2022, Dorothy McShane is looking at a blank wall in an art gallery, wondering where the picture's gone. Because it's not just that picture, it's 15 others. They've all suddenly mysteriously all been taken down, apparently for restoration, but all at the same time around the world. What in the... Tegan, Javanka, you may remember her moaning back in the 1980s. She also has discovered a few things to do with volcanoes and shit. And it's all... They go to UNIT about it, which is nice to see UNIT back up and running. Very nice to see that. However, where was Osgood? Where was Osgood?
She's off in a secure location. Wait, which one? Maybe we're all Osgood now.
Sage. We are all Osgood.
The wisdom of Brian.
And you can have more if you just deposit your credit card right now at...
Oh, thank you. You've just reminded me about something. All right. A friend of mine, naming no names, got messaged by the NatWest asking him to phone their fraud line number, which he did, and he started speaking to them. And they said that his account had been a victim of fraud, and they needed to transfer his money to a different account, an account with a different company, whilst they sorted his bank account out.
Of course.
It was a con, and luckily NatWest, the bank in question, got straight on it. Unfortunately, my friend lost 450 quid. But as he was telling me about this, the sophistication of the scam was quite impressive, and that's why I'm mentioning it now, so that you're aware and you can be careful. They're very sophisticated nowadays. The best thing you can do is to just stop and phone your local bank or whatever the number is for your bank, and check with them directly rather than anything else. Look at that, public service. That's good.
Charlie says.
Yes, indeed. Right. Oh, I don't like to look at that farmer, Veronica. Oh, no, Joe.
Wish I'd bought me brolly.
The green man is flashing.
Right, Brian hasn't got a fucking clue what we're talking about.
My friends who have headlights do the same.
Wait. But why?
Yes. Boo boo. Right, hope read what Christian said. Tegan left one is not fun, and you get all the later references and try not to jump ahead. Okay. So Tegan and Ace turn up at unit. Tegan's been sent a Russian doll, but inside it is a miniature Cyberman.
More than one.
Well, we don't know that at the time, do we?
No.
It's essentially a magic door for more Cybermen to come through.
Shouldn't Tegan actually know that? What's going on with the Russian doll?
The thing with Tegan is when Auntie Vanessa was shrunk, she was an action man. Now we're looking at a Star Wars figure.
Okay. They went from
easy
Lego
mistake
to
to make. Hey, we've lost most of our viewers. Cool.
Maybe they hate the BBC.
Anyway, all right. We've come to review this fresh from it being shown. We haven't had a chance to watch it a couple of times, a chance to reflect on it, to think about it. On the surface, my instant reaction was I really enjoyed it. There were moments that made me tear up, and it shows the fact that I'm an ancient old crone, because it was when Sylvester and Peter were talking to Ace and Tegan, and of course Adric gets mentioned, and also it's nice to see the Doctor's afterlives being confirmed. So New Adventures are now canon. I'm just saying.
In my notes here, I've got that this went a bit Paul Cornell.
Trust me. I'm sorry. That's it. The New Adventures are fucking canon. I don't care.
Although the Fifth Doctor wasn't being crucified
at the time, no. I did tell Peter Davison that he wasn't impressed. So, on the surface, I really enjoyed it. I loved the support group. That it's often been brought up in fan fiction and stuff like that. So it was nice to see something like that actually on screen getting an acknowledgement. And the very fact that they got William Russell back as Ian.
And he's looking amazing.
He's well in his 90s now.
He's got to be nearly 100, hasn't he?
Something like that. He's as deaf as a post, bless him. I just love the fact of, did you say she was a woman? Oh, they got Ian back. Yeah, 100 years of the BBC. I enjoyed this. There was too much going on. You're quite right. Daleks are drilling into the Earth again. Are they really? Well, now there's a surprise. You know?
Didn't need slave labour to do it this time.
Well, quite.
No?
Quite. They've come a long way. I'm going to shut up. If the boys say anything that sparks my mind, fair enough, we'll go for that. But if not, I need to go and watch it again and absorb properly. Who'd like to go first? Andrew, please.
Oh, boy. Hang on. Let me strap in.
Are you bracing yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
putting the...
Okay.
Let the petty
We had thunderstorms today. I just thought I'd let you know.
Beautiful, amazing thunderstorm. It was fantastic. I was having an afternoon nap, and then the thunder came in, and it was lovely, wonderful.
My dog
Anyway.
was scared. It wasn't it just Christian.
Right. I might upset some people here.
Oh, well, we're back up to 5 viewers.
Okay.
Turning all trays to the upright position.
Right. I'm not saying this was bad. There were some lovely elements in this. I loved the appearance of the old doctors. I loved the support group. We had Joe Grant, we had Mel, we had Ian. You know, it was absolutely fantastic. However, let me make a note of the things I liked first of all. I think it's not many TV series that can have a character say, "I've come back after 38 years." I mean, Christ on a bike.
I mean, Miss Ellie was only missing for a year.
Yeah. I liked the bit when the Master was playing Boney M.
Yes.
And the Cyberman and the Dalek
just go.
Looked at each other as if to say, "What the fuck?" That was genius. I've mentioned that it goes a bit Paul Cornell.
It does.
And
I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, no problem with that at all. I loved the Master's TARDIS where the sign is just said ha 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 ha.
Interesting fact.
Yeah.
Interesting fact. Did you notice the Master's TARDIS had a red light?
Yeah.
The
And red
original
windows.
police boxes.
Yeah,
The
and
light,
red light.
was red.
Yeah.
So it's more accurate than the Doctor's.
Yeah, I just loved the ha 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 ha. I thought that was fantastic. The Master says at one point, "I'm going to call this the Master's Dalek plan." Now, I'm pretty damn certain I did an off-target spoof cover called the Master's Dalek plan.
There's also been, how do I put this? There's also been a Derek Jacobi Big Finish audio play.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Right. Okay. So, I liked a lot of it.
Yes.
Buts
are fair.
I think I'm going to come straight out and say this.
Go on, do it.
This, to me, was very bad fan fiction. I'm sorry. We had Unit, we had all the companions, which I loved, but all the Doctors, which I loved, but Daleks, Cybermen. There was too much going on.
Right.
Too much going on.
Okay. May I have a comeback on this?
Please feel free to retort.
Okay. 5 Doctors.
Yeah.
But had a lot going on in it. Hang on. And there was a reason, and that's because it was the 20th anniversary show. It was a celebration. That's what this is. It's a celebratory episode of Doctor Who. So therefore, it's a case of don't be too harsh on it. It's just being done as a knees-up.
No, fair enough. I didn't realise. I've literally stayed away from all the news about this. So I was not aware until you said a few minutes ago that this had been commissioned for the 100th anniversary of the BBC. Had I been aware of that, I might have given it. So obviously, my notes here. I want to stress to anyone watching this, not that anyone does. My notes here are very fresh off of watching it. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Don't smudge the ink.
I haven't had a chance to watch it on my iPad to watch it twice because literally we haven't had time to watch it twice.
We came straight here.
And we've come straight here. So, it's just a few observations.
Hang on.
Proceed. What?
Yeah, I've forgotten.
Okay. I'm getting fed up seeing those orange spacesuits.
He originally only had the one.
Yeah. I like the way the TARDIS just lands in the middle of the road.
Yes, in front of Anfield.
Right. How does a tissue compression eliminator work on metal?
I've remembered what I'm going to say.
Go on. You've gone again, haven't you? Write it down. Right. How do you clone a Cyberman complete with all the damage to his cyber outfit? What's going on there? Have you remembered again?
I know exactly how that happened, and this totally fits in with the entire rest of the show.
Go on, because of the metal planet.
Go on.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Leave the internet.
Okay.
Leave it.
I'm not saying I liked Jodie's Doctor, but I am wondering if it was written into her contract that every time she has a conversation with a villain, she has to turn sideways on and look at them like this. Every time. Notice.
It's terrible.
It's irritating. Not only does she waves the Sonic around like it's a gun, and she does this, oh, I'm going to beat you. And it's like really annoying. Anyway, but people are going to call me out for hating Jodie Whittaker. And I don't hate
No. I'm calling you out for just being critical of body language.
The Master, this incarnation of the Master whispers too much.
Well, that was some point I was going to make. I lost a lot in the music mix again.
Yes, and that's the thing. So you've got two issues here. The Master's whispering about all his fantastic plans, and you can't fucking hear what he says anyway.
Which
because
is
the
a
music...
shame, because it's great performance. It's being ruined.
Why can't the Master just impersonate the Doctor as he is? Why can't he just go around saying, I'm the Doctor? Why does he have to inhabit her body?
Because her body, as far as we know, has infinite regenerations.
Okay. How did Graham end up in Bolivia?
Plain, I imagine.
Why?
Well, when they left, they were going to investigate things.
Retirement fund. You have to go somewhere.
Quite.
I thought that the planet blowing up at the end. The planet was beautiful, by the way. It was a bit Starkiller Base from Force Awakens. The way it imploded on itself.
Okay, right. Yes. Yeah.
Why does Yaz leave? The Doctor says, I need to do this on my own. Okay, don't just dump her in the middle of nowhere. She can go to another room.
Well, to be fair, considering what's happened to the TARDIS in previous regenerations...
this is actually, I did like the fact that she actually went outside this time to regenerate.
I thought it was beautiful. It was just perfect.
It was third door.
And then Mr. Dr. David Tennant turned up.
Spoilers. So yeah,
we've said spoilers. We've given plenty of warning.
When she was about to regenerate, I thought, "Oh Christ, we're going to smash the TARDIS up again." But no, she obviously remembers what's happened the last 25 times it's happened, and she's got outside. So why couldn't Yaz have stayed inside? Why did she have to leave?
Just in case.
Rubbish.
Did anybody else notice that?
There's also the fact if she knew she was going to change, whoever she might end up being may not have the same feelings for Yaz that she has, and Yaz may not have the same feelings for whoever they're going to be.
And Yaz can then choose to leave later if she wants to, not just dump her by the side of the road like a Sarah Jane.
Important question here.
And the clothes changed.
Yes, that's the thing. However, it's not the first time it's happened. It's not the first time it's happened.
No, but it's happened before.
We're going to list it. We're going to list it. Okay.
Go on.
All right. First of all, Troughton, when Troughton got born, his costume changed from Bill's to his own.
Inside the TARDIS.
Inside the TARDIS, yes. However, I do have one to beat that if you
Go on,
don't
then.
mind. All right, then Logopolis.
Right.
It's the end,
Mm-hmm.
but the moment, thud, splat. And Tegan 5 seconds later goes, you need to watch that regeneration very carefully.
Boots change.
The boots change to the shoes and socks. We will come to that when we do that on Two Fan Dinosaurs. And if we get Chris Rage Bidmead, we will be asking him.
But we've never seen quite a drastic change of quite an obviously changing costume before, have
Well,
we?
obviously something has gone very wrong.
I think this obviously has been done quite deliberately and is presumably going to tie into the plot of what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
Especially
which is a great quote from the 14th Doctor.
Indeed, what the hell is going on or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So
14th, 15th.
with the caveat, I've one final thing to say.
Yes.
With the caveat that I have only watched it once, and I wasn't really appreciative.
I remember.
What?
Okay. This was supposed to be the last episode they filmed. Then the
Nice.
BBC said, no, we wanted to do a centenary special. We'll give you a longer time and everything. They then needed to rush a story into production to fill the gap, and that story was Legend of the Sea Devils.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, I remembered.
Don't forget, everybody, to watch our extensive analysis
Yes.
of Legend of the Sea
We
Devils.
really went to town
Yes.
on that one. It's
We
on the
did.
YouTube channel, Bibble Thruster.
Find it.
Yeah.
Go and find it.
It'll make you watch it in a different light, quite frankly.
Yes. When the Power Rangers appeared, it was quite remarkable.
Right. Sorry. One last thing
Please,
to say then.
please go on, please.
As I say, there were some good things in here. I've only watched it once. I wasn't aware that it was a special for the BBC Centenary, so perhaps I'm being overly critical. I don't hate Jodie Whittaker, but I do think there was too much going on in this, and I got a bit confused. And my initial reactions are,
Part of me thinks that John Bishop wasn't available very much. So he got written out and Vinda got written back in. It's a thought. It's a thought.
It's a possibility.
What about you, Brian?
It was an okay episode. There's
better than
way
crap.
too much going on in this.
I agree.
This is just yet another example of Chibnall's writing. He needs to decompress the story. Even if it stretches it out longer, it needs to be more decompressed. Not this.
How the hell did Mel get back to Earth?
Exactly.
Last time we saw her, she was on, Iceworld. Well, Svartos. Well, the Nosferatu 2 with Glitz.
in the future.
So this is just no. Remember when Ace joined and Mel left?
Yeah, but
Dragonfire?
that was in the future.
Not her future, not her own
Yes,
personal
it was.
future. No, she's
Yes,
too
it
old.
was.
She's too
No.
old.
It was in Mel's future because Ace had been dumped there in a time storm.
Yes.
Therefore,
Gave the game away to the Doctor that
Yeah.
Fenric was back, and
so
Ace
Mel
had to take
was
Ace on.
stuck in the future.
And he basically mentally influenced Mel to leave him.
Yeah, and she was stuck in the future with Glitz.
Yes, a long time in the future. So
Yeah,
how
so
did
how
she
did-
get back? Well, once again, this confirms the Virgin New Adventures.
That's the point I'm making. Is not only was she out there on another planet, she's in the far future.
Yeah. Sorry.
it's not
Yes,
time
you're quite
travel.
right. Well, the Virgin New Adventure head games explains how Mel gets back to Earth. Brilliant. New Adventures confirmed canon.
Again,
Yeah.
Yes. Go on, Brian. Sorry. These discussions
what they're
are
saying.
important.
Oh,
Now you know. I
yeah.
feel.
So Dan fucks off right away.
He does.
He has a date. Date.
Date.
Yeah. So then that leaves the Doctor and Yaz, and that's fair because Yaz has been a character since episode 1 of Jodie's run.
The only companion who's gone through a Doctor's entire run.
Mm-hmm.
in the history of the show.
Yeah. So
JD was close, but
it's
not
all
quite
that.
close.
Lot.
That there is. Like I say, we're coming to this fresh.
When the master was playing Rara Rasputin, I literally went, "What the fuck is this?"
Here come the drums. Here come the drums.
Yeah, no, this is worse than the drums.
Okay.
This is worse.
Yeah, no, that's modern Doctor Who. I'm sorry.
I was either the Cyberman or the
had...
Dalek looking at each other going, "What the fuck is
that
going
was wonderful,
on?"
wasn't it?
Also, Cybermasters. No. Cyber
Lords.
Yes. Cyber Lords.
Yes. I agree with you.
Cybermen and Daleks, okay, yeah, whatever. The umpteenth team up for them.
That just smacks. You know what's happened? As soon as the Master succeeds, they're going to turn on, all three of them are going to turn on each other.
Well, you know what? The Cybermen are more successful at than the Daleks, right? They die easier.
And technically, Daleks should be able to regenerate now. After the Witcher's familiar. Technically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Been a little bit handy with that old regeneration NG, haven't you? Dear me.
Just weird.
Artron won't be happy, and yes, Artron is a character.
I did like having Dr. Ruth show up again.
That was a nice touch.
That was a good
still touch. No explanations about her.
Nothing.
I think that's being
Nothing
left
from the history.
That's just being left to us now. Well,
that
and
is
Big
left
Finish.
to the Big Finish people.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I thought when we first saw the child on the train, I thought the whole plot was going to be that that's either the Doctor or a relation of the Doctor from the same race of people.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They ditched that almost immediately.
Yeah, they dumped on that idea totally. That kid has
nice
absolutely no importance whatsoever.
No. Oh, the fly's back.
Same one.
Nice. Yes, he's called
the
Harry.
Master's TARDIS. I didn't like the ha 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 ha.
I did. I love that.
Yes, I know.
I hated it mainly because it reminded me too much of Frank Miller's The Killing Joke cover.
The Joker. Yeah, no, but we've had Bad Wolf everywhere. Why not? Oh, it's just it should have been, but you know.
Shouldn't have been anything. Should have been maybe
laugh.
That like that. That would have been nice. Yeah.
It should have said. It could have said advice and assistance never obtainable. Don't bother trying to open or something.
Yeah. How many times have we seen Rasputin so far?
Once.
Just this once?
Yep.
Yeah.
In Big Finish, but once.
Right, and did I miss something? What was the connection between 1916 and 2022?
There was nothing. There was absolutely no connection. I'm not entirely sure of the Master's timeline in this.
No.
It's a bit confused.
And wouldn't you think that people would notice a second moon in the sky?
They did in 1916. It was mentioned.
I'll come to that.
You might have missed that bit when we first meet the Tsarina. She says something like, "He's not been the same since the second moon appeared," or something.
Yeah, but nobody else has mentioned that. Nobody else has noticed the second moon in the world, in history at all, ever.
Do you remember the Zygon? Do you remember the Zygon Gambit?
Yetis in the underground.
Yes.
We've got to stop doing these sort of things, Andrew. So overall, boys and girls, we'll do the usual thumbs approach. Up, down.
Actually, hang on. One more thing.
Oh, please,
Support group.
The support group. Yes.
That was perfect.
Oh.
That was absolutely freaking perfect.
What was a support group? Right? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, having all. I'm just sad Sarah Jane couldn't have been.
Yeah.
Or Babs.
Yeah.
Or Liz.
Do you know what would have been amazing? If Donna had turned up
and been like, I don't know what the hell you people are talking about, but I got this invitation.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I feel like I should be here, and then that could have tied into what we know is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because then the big reveal, the next Doctor.
I've given up on numbering, by the way.
I do.
Totally.
What I like though is in the 50th when the Doctor meets the curator, and the curator
Yes.
says, "You're going to be revisiting quite a few old faces." Well, this has come to pass now.
Yep.
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 I like that. I like that a
Also, the
lot.
fact that last
So
time
my
round in
question
Finish, the
is,
curator
how
was
does
big,
this
was
tie
Colin Baker.
into the whole we get Doogie as the villain for the next?
Well, you're going to have to wait, aren't you?
I don't want to
You've
wait.
got to wait.
Waiting is bad.
You waited long enough for this. You can wait for the return of
No, and they're keeping the damn Sunday time slot.
Are they?
Yeah, it's still going to be Sundays at 8.
Who said that?
Pretty much everybody. I mean, it's
I
subject to
very
change,
much doubt a time
if
slot
they
has
move
been
it back to
announced yet.
Saturdays at 8, it'd be great.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have announced a time slot for it yet. Though
Okay.
for Doc 2 to get back to Saturday nights, I mean, the BBC's got a lot of faith in the programme, but getting back in, once they gave up that Saturday night slot, it's going to be hard to get it back. It's a bit
That's
like
the problem.
it's a bit like the Christmas Day special. Once you've given up the slots, there's too much competition
Yeah,
to get it back.
over here, Friday and Saturday nights are usually death for a show
Mm.
because
Yes, they are.
everybody's out. There's nobody around. If they put it on 8 o'clock on a Friday night, forget about it. It's going to be canceled.
Friday would be a death slot. Saturday, however, is traditionally, because it's cold and wet and miserable and horrible here, people traditionally sit at home and watch telly.
So the weather did us a favour tonight. So we're going to finish off very well. First of all, thumbs, please, gentlemen.
Kind of want to see it
Oh,
again.
that's interesting. Okay, that's
wanna see it
interesting.
to see it.
Adel.
I did.
Forgotten.
Anyone else think that Jodie was a little bit whiny, a bit like Tennant? Oh, it's not fair. I've got so much more to do.
I was thinking.
Yeah, but that's
that.
every personality.
I don't like that. The Doctor shouldn't. It's not a whiny crybaby in my mind.
And it's not like she's getting fired. She actually only signed up for 3.
She would You will.
Uh-oh. Internet.
Oh. No, she's back.
Okay.
It's like, I want to find out what happens next. You will find out what happens next. You're not dying.
You're the same fucking person.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry if I've been a bit down on this so far.
Andrew, no. You've been fine. You've made valid points.
She's
Brian's made American points. You've made... Oh, we have gone, haven't we?
Yeah.
I asked because Jodie can really.
Sorry about this, folks. I'm so sorry. Oh.
I don't even think the show is getting through.
Hi.
Thing. It's on my iPad and on my PlayStation.
Okay, I am very sorry.
Oh no! Now,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about all this. I've no idea why this happens. I've no idea how this happens, but it's Virgin Media, folks. So
obviously
again,
the master.
yeah, yes, I do apologise for this. Trouble is, you can't talk to a human being from Virgin Media anymore if you've got complaints. Oh, talking about which, I forgot stuff.
Uh-oh.
I told you about Garden Gate. I haven't told you about Blizzard Gate.
Oh,
Do you remember me saying I'd resub to World of Warcraft and none of my characters were there?
Mm. Yeah.
Well, I sent off the replies to the reply they gave me, giving them as much information as I can have. I've heard nothing since, but they've taken another month's money.
Of course they don't care.
I can't play all my old characters. You know, they're just not there. Blizzard aren't exactly doing very well at the moment, to be fair. Yeah, a lot of them have been a bit naughty. Anyway, I should have got a bottle of water.
It makes me wonder about all my old characters in Star Trek Online and Star Wars New Republic. I wonder probably all.
I went cold turkey in 2009, and I have not looked back.
Probably a very good idea. I've got Rara Rasputin going through my head now.
I'm happily immune to that.
Do you not think maybe they could have lost, say, 20 minutes of it and cut out one of the plots?
They could have cut out Rara Rasputin.
No, I liked that bit. I did like the Rara Rasputin. I'm just thinking they could have. I know this is blasphemy, right? But they could have cut out the Dalek plot and lost 20 minutes, and it would have made a lot more sense, I think.
Oh yeah, easily. Or they could have cut out the Dalek plot and replaced it with something else. More character development, more, seeing Tegan and Ace, stuff like that. They didn't need the Daleks in there. The Daleks did virtually nothing.
Fair. Right, moving on. Now, the next two Fan Dinosaurs, we're going to be doing all 4 episodes of Full Circle in one sitting. That much I do know, Andrew. We're just waiting. We're waiting on Andrew Smith to tell us when it's going to happen. It may not be next Friday. When it should be. But he has agreed to appear and talk all the way through Full Circle for us. Which is nice. And I've warned him he's going to get some ribbing. So, you're all right. And of course, he's going to be coming up with a question to win this Series 18 Blu-ray box set. So, stay tuned. That's next. I'm not going to say it's next. It'll be on the YouTube channel at some stage. And I'll let you know on this thing.
I really hope your internet connection isn't malfunctioning when we do this with Mr. Smith.
I know. And like I say, it's Virgin Media. This has been going on for years. Okay, so, Big Finish. 3 Big Finish stories in one box set. Wow. It's Rose Tyler, The Dimension Canon, Volume 2. The first story, just for the background, is this features Rose and Jackie, and I know, amazing, isn't it? Rose and Jackie are on Pete's World, and they're trying to find the Doctor because the darkness is coming. They've recruited Clive Finch, who's still alive on Pete's World, and he's actually a very clever guy, degrees and whatever. And that's the core group. The first one is Rose and Clive going to an Earth, because they're crossing universes to try and find the Doctor, to save them.
I think she also crossed a universe.
You think what? Who? What?
You just crossed a universe very briefly.
Did I freeze again?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
The first moving very slowly in the universe that you're crossing into.
Right.
Well, she's not burning up a sun just to talk to.
That's nice.
It's interstitial.
Bless you.
Thank you. So, the first... Shut up. The first
Is this
one,
how internet transmission works in E-space?
Yeah. E-space. Right. The first one, they land on Earth, that is... Something's happening to the sea. And ships are being sunk. And it
In the sea?
In the sea. I know.
No.
I know. It's a different universe, Brian. These things happen.
In the sea, though.
In the sea.
Ships.
Yes,
in
ships.
The sea.
Yes.
Even sunk.
Yes.
The front fell off.
Wow.
I
What
know.
marvelous time do we live in?
I know.
Hit
It's
my
just
way.
crazy. So, unfortunately, this has led the world powers to be on the brink of pressing the button. And Rose and Clive... The button. Rose and Clive have to prove that it's not Britain doing it. And... yeah, again, spoilers. I can't say any more because...
So does Rose help Clive find the button?
No, Brian. Stop it. Prevert. So...
Y'all went there.
yeah, I know. So, this is why I have problems. So, yeah. It's a fun one, this one. It works. It shows Clive off in a good light. And I've got to admit, he's becoming the standout character. However, there is another character who is standout. Moving on to the second story, they land on an Earth where it's medieval society. It's still 2022, but they just haven't progressed at all. This is a world based on the humours of the body. There are the 4 humours. And you get an assessor who will assess you as to what your humours are like. And if, like for example, in this case, you're assessed as melancholic, you get sent to the forbidden zone, the melancholic area, and you got to be careful because you could be killed. However, something called the Shadow is going around killing melancholics. Initially, Clive gets blamed for this. Wrong place, wrong time, usual Doctor Who setup. The assistant to the assessor is Jackie, but the Jackie of this universe. So Rose has to work with this fake mum to find out who the bad guy is and sort Clive out. That's the second one. The third one's interesting. Another doomed Earth, because they're all doomed. That's why Rose is trying to find the Doctor. This time, and considering what you were saying earlier, a giant planet is moving into their solar system. And
No.
yes. And as a
Metal?
result, as it gets closer, basically Earth is just going to stop rotating.
Is it named Unicron?
I don't know what it was called.
I might know how to defeat it.
Oh, okay. That might be useful. So the government know what's happening. Unfortunately, they got the timing wrong. It's going to happen a lot sooner than they think, and the story ends on one hell of a cliffhanger. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. Keep your wits about you when it comes to Rose and Jackie in the third story. The other standout, like I say, the other standout performance is Camille Codry, because I love Jackie Tyler. I really do. I'm sorry. And like I say, Mark Benton as Clive, he's brought more depth to him. Clive's a brainy guy, and he's got a good heart. So, you know, he wasn't just a loony conspiracy bloke. Well, on our Earth he might have been. We'll never know. So, yes, I recommend this one. Billie Piper is anywhere near as annoying as she was in Series 2, which is nice. So, yep, go get this one. There we go. That's a big finish review. No idea what next week's is going to be, sorry. The next Doctor Who we're looking at next Sunday is going to be the Armageddon Factor. We're finishing off the Key to Time. Okay. Well, quite. Look out for Terry Scott. That'll only make sense to Sinister, sorry. Right. Are you wanting to talk about space, above and beyond?
Go ahead, Sinister.
Right.
You've got more notes.
I do have more notes.
Bloody hell, this is so professional.
This, okay, let me just give the précis of the episode first. Hawks and some other dude are on a planet doing an infiltration thing where there's lots of chigs running around, and they're going underwater, and they're in ghillie suits, and they're using sniper rifles, and they're shooting people, and they're getting shot at. And then Dale Dye, because it is he, Dale Dye. If you don't know who Dale Dye is, he's either ex-US Army or ex-Marine, and he has been used as a military consultant on many, many, many large productions. For example, Saving Private Ryan, Brothers in Arms, The Pacific, that kind of thing. Like, he's the go-to guy if you want to learn about, I want to get my actors into doing military stuff. Frankly, I think the series as a whole could have probably benefited from it. But anyway, I like this episode.
Coin noise.
This episode has hardly any dialogue in it at all. There are like 3 scenes. You see the occasional flashback. So you start off on this planet, and it's Hawks and this other guy. Other guy gets killed, then it's Hawks on his own. And you flash back, and they're on board the Saratoga, and Dale Dye is basically saying, we're going to give you this honorable discharge if you come on this mission with me to assassinate this Chig leader. And the only reason I want you is because, number one, you seem to be really good with firearms. And number two, my partner's just bought the farm, basically. And I need someone to come with me. Really there's like 2 other scenes with dialogue in it. And it's really interesting because the episode opens with a sort of monologue by Hawks saying, I'm an in vitro, I'm a tank, I was born 8 years ago, and now I'm in this war, and the 58 Squadron, they're the only people I care for. And then it's kind of interesting because you see flashbacks. You see him being born, coming out of a tube, and they cut the umbilical cord off the back of his neck. You see him in a very, very clinical and very chilling training sequence where he's basically bit that him and all the other in vitros are being shown like a slideshow, which says, congratulations, you've now been alive 8 months. You're here basically to serve the United States, and you will love the United States, and in return, she will love you back. And today's lesson: there are 687 ways to kill a man, which I have to say is a pretty much direct lift from one of my favorite books, The Forever War, which opens up with the line, "Tonight we are going to show you 8 silent ways to kill a man." And that basically they're being trained. And then later on in the episode, the episode's called "Who Monitors the Birds?" and Hawks is looking out at a bird on the planet, and then it flashes back to when he's in his training camp, which he's locked in. Basically, he's looking at a bird, and he goes to one of his instructors and says, "Monitor, who monitors the birds?" And the monitor is the guy in charge, and he says, "I monitor the birds." And they decide that he's asking too many questions, and he's become defective, and they're going to basically kill him. And he has to. I'm rambling a lot here because I thought this episode was fucking brilliant.
Fair enough. That's good.
I thought it was really, really, really solid episode. Like I say, hardly any talking. A couple of dudes on a mission with some really interesting flashbacks
What
to
is
how
that boing noise?
Probably my mail. Don't worry about it. Anyway, Brian.
I love this episode. It was excellent. This pretty much shows what it could be.
Yeah.
And why we liked this series to begin with. I mean, granted, we've been looking through this with nostalgia glasses. Some of these episodes have been fuck all horrible. But this shows the potential this show had. And I absolutely adore it.
The West counter. How is the West counter tonight?
West wasn't in it.
Spanky would have loved it.
West was in one scene where you saw him asleep, because basically Hawks he's told not to tell anyone else about this mission, and he goes in the middle of the night, and everyone else is asleep.
I've reached the age when I have to do that.
And and there's also a scene where he's about to kill this Chig warrior, and the Chig warrior is like, "Whoa, hang on," kind of gives him he gives him something from his uniform, and in return, Hawks kind of exchanges a ring and says, kind of in sign language, "You go that way, and I'll go that way," and they agree not to basically fight.
It's alien mine.
But later on, Hawks gets ambushed by
Alien
3
mine.
chicks who he kills, and one of them is the chick that he just swapped the stuff with.
So he's got his ring back. Oh, that's good.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian.
No, it's fine. I was done. I can't say enough about this episode. Just it's good.
And for once, the scenes on the planet weren't so black you couldn't see what was going on. They were dark, but you could see what was going on. And I can see Dale Dye's influence here as a military expert who's like, this is how these guys would go in and do this mission. This is what they would be wearing. They'd have their. I can definitely see his input, because there's no doubt he would have had input. He doesn't. He's not an actor, really. He's not. He wouldn't have just been given a role and said,
I'm
"Fine."
just sad that they didn't keep him for the rest of the series.
Agreed. Yeah. I think this really benefited from his involvement.
Fair enough. Good. Well, you got another episode next week, I'm afraid. I hope it maintains its standard for you. I do. Genuinely.
What is next week's episode?
So, what we look, we got the Armageddon Factor next week. We have a big finish of some description. No idea what. I suspect it might be the new Third Doctor story. We'll have to wait and see. Another episode, an episode of Space, Above and Beyond. So, Brian, do you have a review of something for us today?
I have a review of many things for you. What
Pick
would
one.
you like a review of?
Just pick one. Pick one that's opposite
how
to the
about
show.
the new Hellraiser movie?
Andrew?
Oh,
If I can talk about Andor afterwards.
Oh, God.
yeah. By all means, as long as we're not talking about Callan.
We will be.
I haven't had time to watch it this week.
So,
Sorry, am I the only one doing all the bloody work here?
I've been busy.
yes.
I have no life.
Leave it for next week. We'll do it when Spanky's back.
No, because I want to watch the next one. You've no idea how difficult it is not binge watching this again.
You can.
No, because I need to watch it the week before. Because
then you
I forget otherwise.
Binge watch it and then watch the one before, because apparently that's not a problem.
What? I'm confused.
Double the Callan.
But the thing is, I wouldn't want to watch it again so soon.
Why not?
Can't be that good then.
It is good, but I don't want familiarity breeding contempt.
It's not familiarity that is breeding the contempt here. It's contempt.
I'm working on my eyebrow raise. What do you think?
Mine's better.
It's darker eyebrow, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to talk about Hellraiser for a few minutes, please feel free.
Yeah.
Is this a film
The
or a
new
TV
Hellraiser
show?
movie.
It's a movie.
Movie. It's on Hulu here. So,
Hulu.
they've replaced the actor who played Pinhead.
Well, he's probably getting on a bit.
Well, yes, but they replaced him with a female.
Oh
Actress?
no, it's the Rokarati gone mad.
Honestly, it doesn't really matter that
course it
much
bloody
because
doesn't.
equally she's as creepy as ever.
Mm.
My whole thing with the Cenobites, that's what the Pinhead minions are called.
I always thought it was
is
Xenobites.
the
but
amount,
okay.
it's the amount of white they have on.
After Labor Day?
Yeah, but you've seen the original Hellraiser movie?
No.
No?
Yeah,
Okay, so
long time ago.
all right, so they're like monsters. They wear the black leather, the Dom outfits, and all that, right?
But they love pain.
Yeah, these ones are all wearing white, and It's an aesthetic choice. It doesn't really matter that much, but it wasn't something I was happy with, whatever.
Do you feel like it was a change just for change's sake?
It might have been. I'm not sure. The special effects on the Cenobites are, oh my god, so much better.
That's understandable.
Yes. As time goes on, you get so much more. I actually saw a featurette where it takes like 6 to 8 hours for the actress to get made up as Pinhead.
I can believe it.
So that's a long day. Moving on from that, the story is pretty much what you would expect from a Hellraiser movie. Some rich guy gets the cube, starts tricking people into trying to open it.
Try not to give away too much plot. Okay.
As they open it, they die and get sent to Leviathan. Leviathan is the Cenobite god. The rich guy wants something from Leviathan. That's why he's sending all these people there. He eventually gets what the Cenobites think he wants. But it's never exactly what you really want, if you follow.
Not. Yeah.
So hilarity ensues. More people get hurt by the box. More things happen. I have to say, the primary character, Riley, does the smartest thing I have ever seen someone in one of these freaking movies.
What? Quit the film before it all goes batshit?
No. At the end of the movie,
careful about spoilers. Careful without spoilers.
She walks away.
Okay, that's good.
She pieces out. She gets offered everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all this. You know what? We're done. Here you go. Here's your box. I'm out. We're done.
Okay, fair enough. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good romp.
Fair enough. Andrew, you have 2 minutes to talk about Andor without giving away plot details now.
After the events of episode 6, all shit has kicked off in the Empire. The Imperial Security Bureau has basically been given carte blanche powers by Emperor Palpatine to do what they want.
Hang on.
Hello.
Episode 6.
This is episode 7.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you were talking about Return of the Jedi.
No. After episode 6 of Andor, when a certain event happened, basically our titular character wants nothing more to do with any rebel activities, and this isn't really a spoiler, is now seen as a potential loose end by said rebels.
An unfortunate one?
Unfortunate is true. So basically, so far in Andor, we had a 3-episode arc, and now we've got an episode just called Announcement, where lots of shit's going down, and we're seeing battle lines being drawn. The Empire is massively overreacting to what happened in the last episode.
You're doing well.
And it turns out that that's exactly what the rebels want, is for them to overreact so people can see the Empire's true colours.
Ooh, that's cynical, isn't it?
It is. And there is a lot of cynicism in this series, and there was in Rogue One as well.
Exactly. That's just what I'm thinking. Yeah.
And basically, so Andor is now a potential target by both sides. He gets into a spot of bother on Blackpool Beach.
It's always the same.
It is, and 100%. The planet Niamos is filmed on Blackpool Beach. It's brilliant. Anyway,
I've been there.
Yeah. So basically, it's all kind of everyone's kind of. I think we're getting in position for the last 5 episodes of this series.
Right.
There is going to be a second series. I understand there's now going to be a 3-episode arc and then a 2-episode arc to round this off. This first series.
Is Baby Yoda in it?
No, there's no. No,
Still plays for a baby.
No. This is if you imagine Star Wars, the films are very much, they're at the grandiose space opera high level. This is fucking gutter level.
Okay, that's good.
I
am gonna have to go back and try and watch it.
And the interesting thing is, 7 episodes in, we finally get to see our first stormtroopers, because stormtroopers aren't the be-all and end-all soldiers of the Empire. They are the last resort that you call in because they are utterly loyal to the Emperor. Okay. What you've seen so far is you see corporate level, because the Empire leaves corporations to handle stuff. Yeah. And when they fuck up, they send in the army. And when they fuck up, they send in the stormtroopers.
Okay. That's fair enough. That's good.
Was that the guy in the white suit with the...
That's the White Guardian.
Was Wolf Yularen.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. Now, Wolf Yularen was a character in the original Star Wars. He's in the briefing room. He's got the white.
Vader choked out his co-worker.
Yeah. Admiral Morty's been choked out next to him. He doesn't have any speaking lines. He was given his name in the Decipher card game. He was in Star Wars Rebels as an admiral before he left to join the ISB. Yeah, he's a character that's been seen many times, but this is the first time we've seen him talking in live action. And the moment I saw him, I was like, "That's Yularen."
Yeah,
and that scene was brilliant. And there's
jockeying, the dirigibles of the Houtai. Sorry,
there's jockeying for position within the ISB as well. And my favourite scene in Star Wars the film was that conference room scene where you see that there's arguments between the members of the Empire, and then in this episode you've got that taken to like the 100 millionth degree. It's fantastic.
Hang on, we've got a dispute in chat. Do you want to read it out?
It's not Blackpool, it's Cleveleys.
Andrew's now going to Google Maps. Oh no, Apple Maps now.
I'm pretty certain it's Blackpool because I've been there and I recognised it.
Just hang on.
Let me have a look.
Yeah. Dear me. Goodness.
4 miles north of Blackpool is Cleveleys. I'm convinced it's Blackpool because I've been there and I've been on those steps. And I recognised it. I said to myself,
locked.
I said to myself, that's Blackpool. I'm convinced it's Blackpool.
Well, next Hooverville, you two are going to have to arm wrestle.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm sorry. Arm wrestling, designed for men to hold hands
I
whilst
think there
looking
needs
into
to
each
be
other's eyes.
Field trip out to Blackpool just to verify.
Well, the interesting thing is they do have Doctor Who Christmas lights in Blackpool.
There you go.
Yeah. Looking at this picture of Cleveleys Beach.
No, Auntie. Who?
I don't know. I'd need to... Hang on, let's have a look. I'm scrolling through some pictures now.
Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
This is what you want. Well...
Anyway, carry on. What? I can't tell from these pictures, but I recognised it, so that's why I think it's Blackpool.
What about Google Street View?
Yeah, not right now.
Righty ho then. So you like Andor.
Yeah.
Brian likes Hellraiser. I'm left reviewing Callan.
Yeah, I haven't had time.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
You missed a fun one. Let's just say right at the start of this, there is a surprise being set up for Callan, which pays off right at the end. Basically, there's a brigadier, I don't know, somebody or colonel who Callan used to serve with in Malaya.
Says here Cleveleys on Wikipedia, and who am I to argue with Wikipedia?
Well, quite.
Well, yes.
I still want my own TARDIS wiki entry, by the way, folks. I think I've earned it. I've written one word in the Big Finish play. So, and also a character in a Big Finish play was based on me. So, yes. Where was I? He served with Callan. In fact, he broke Callan. and kicked him out of the army. And this guy is being courted by Unspecifiedistan in Arabia. You know, that we've made up a country. That sounds vaguely Arabic.
I use the term Borderistan.
Fair enough, yeah. No, Unspecifiedistan.
I've done a map of Borderistan, and the interesting thing about Borderistan is that 98% of the territory of Borderistan is disputed.
It's all our fault. Jesus. So, basically, this country want this colonel to come and lead their army for the great, the great and good of the Sultan. And the Brits don't want him to go, so the section's involved. And he's put into a red file, and we all know what that means. Well, not necessarily, but it's an agent is, in fact, it's stated, an agent is allowed to use any means he wishes to deal with the problem. So Callan basically plays a down and out, who's after a job, posing as himself, because the colonel's daughter runs a soup kitchen, and obviously Lonely knows this, and lo and behold, this is what happens. Callan goes down there, gets some soup, slags off people, do-gooders and whatever, but eventually he gets word through that he's looking for work, and this guy owes him. So this guy takes him on, saying he's the worst soldier he's ever seen, as a batman. And you can make your own jokes about that. But Callan obviously really is there to spy on the household and put an end to what's going on. And which he does, quite frankly. This is a fairly standard episode of Callan. I'll be honest with you. But it's still eminently watchable. Thank you very much, Dr. Sinister. But again, there's only one bad episode of Callan in my view, and that's the wet job, the special they did a few years later, which we won't be looking at because I want the boys to have fresh, nice memories of Callan.
I'll look at it. I don't have nice and fresh memories.
There we are. So your memory is at least 4 miles long. Is that what you're saying? Okay. So we have a measurement.
I've got a brain the size of Lancashire.
Oh, if only it could have been Yorkshire. Right. So anyway, the ending is perfect because Hunter has to go away to Moscow. Or somewhere.
Oh.
Yes. As a result, they've brought in a temporary hunter to look after the section.
A huntette?
No. It's Colonel Leslie, the bastard from the start of the series. And they wait. We know it's happening all the way through the episode. We know it's going to happen. And right at the end, Callan walks in, sees the Colonel behind the desk, and says, oh, for fuck's sake. It's the hatred Callan has for that man is something else.
The original Hunter.
The original Ronald Rad. Yeah, and it's not the last time we'll see him. And the other Hunter does come back as well. Don't worry. So yeah, this is a good one. Like I say, fairly standard fare, but standard fare for Callan is pretty damn fine stuff, quite frankly. Next week we'll be looking at another episode of Callan. I haven't got the list up here, so. Who knew? We'll find out which one it is. So, wow. We've done a show again. It's not bad going. And once again, we're running under. And we're running under because we haven't got one of us. Interesting. So, next week, The Armageddon Factor, A Big Finish. An episode of Space Colon Above and Beyond, and an episode of Callan. That's what we're going to be looking at. Hopefully there might be news and shit and stuff and things. Andrew, what are you doing next week?
Working.
Anything else?
Got the house to myself for a couple of days, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to work.
Party. Brian?
I'm working, and we're doing the role-playing game on Saturday.
I was going to come to that.
Over on Thaco. That's Thaco Gaming, THAC 0 Gaming.
I don't have to mention
Twitch.
it now. He has. Yeah, I don't know if Two Fan Dinosaurs will be next Friday. I'm doubting it. I haven't heard back from Andrew about when's best for him, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I'm looking.
Well, you
forward
just
to
said he has the house to himself.
No, other Andrew. I'm gonna have to. Right, I'll make the definition, the distinction now. Sinister, Andrew. That's the best I can do, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Flash and Blade again next Sunday, like he says. Thaco Gaming next Saturday.
Saturday.
Jesus Christ. We keep just doing more stuff, don't we? It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
well, you know, we're branching out.
It's
It's a franchise now.
Really? Do I get any money?
No,
No.
I'd be crap.
it's
at
okay. We
business.
don't get any money either.
I'd be crap at business. I really would.
What's the news on our Patreon?
We don't have one.
I thought you'd agreed we could have one last time.
If you want one, but God knows what we're going to do with it, and I doubt anybody's going to donate anything. All right, Brian watches Ashes to Ashes. Great, but that's work for you, Brian.
That's
You have
one
to
thing.
Video that yourself watching it.
So what are you doing for it?
I'm going to watch Ashes to Ashes with you.
You are?
Yeah,
Okay.
why not?
I was just gonna sit down and record
I
myself.
just don't think it's fair you being on your own. You've got nobody to bounce off, and solo shit like that is
To be
difficult.
fair, I'm gonna be ripping the show left, right, and center.
Okay, do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, do it. If you can make a show out of it, do it, please.
I'll do it.
All right. Okay, so it looks like we're going to get a Patreon. I've no idea. I'm not interested in this sort of nonsense, but there we go. Once again, our best wishes to Professor Dave. Keeping our fingers crossed there. So, gentlemen, would you say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ta-ra, Chucks.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
But I've got so much more John Levine to do.
Ugh.